courtroom buzzed with the quiet murmur of conversations and the shuffle of papers as Judge Thompson, a middle-aged white man known for his stern demeanor, adjusted his glasses and settled into his seat at the bench. The air carried a sense of routine, the kind of atmosphere born from handling countless cases, most of which followed a predictable pattern. "Next case," Judge Thompson announced, his voice cutting through the hum. The bailiff stepped forward, holding a clipboard. "Docket number 56412, State versus Sarah Johnson," the bailiff declared. All eyes turned as Sarah Johnson entered the courtroom. She was a confident black woman in her early 30s, her posture radiating calm authority. Dressed in professional attire, she walked with purpose toward the defendant's table, accompanied by her attorney, Lucy Andrews, a seasoned white woman who exuded an air of competence. Judge Thompson glanced at the file before him, his expression unreadable. "Miss Johnson, you are charged with reckless driving. How do you plead?" Sarah stood, her voice steady. "Not guilty, Your Honor. I believe the circumstances surrounding the incident have been misunderstood." The judge's gaze lingered on her for a moment before he nodded. "Very well, let us proceed." As the proceedings began, the prosecutor outlined the events leading to the charge. According to the police report, Sarah had allegedly been driving at an excessive speed, weaving through traffic in a manner that endangered others. Yet as her attorney cross-examined the officer who had issued the citation, inconsistencies in the account began to emerge. Lucy Andrews stood addressing the officer. "You stated in your report that Miss Johnson was driving erratically. Can you confirm the exact speed she was traveling at?" The officer hesitated. "I estimated her speed to be around 50 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone." "Estimated?" Lucy pressed. "Were you using a radar gun at the time?" "No, ma'am," the officer admitted. "It was a visual estimate." Lucy nodded, her tone calm but firm. "So no definitive measurement was taken. Thank you." She returned to her seat, casting a reassuring glance at Sarah. As the day unfolded, Sarah's character and accomplishments began to surface. Witnesses were called to testify about her contributions to society. Among them was Professor Yvonne Williams, a distinguished scholar and mentor to Sarah during her academic career. Professor Williams took the stand, her presence commanding the room's attention. "Your Honor," she began, "Sarah Johnson is not merely an exceptional individual. She is a groundbreaking political scientist whose work has had a profound impact on global policy." The judge's brow furrowed slightly, his interest piqued. "Please elaborate, Professor." "Sarah's research has addressed systemic inequities in international governance," Professor Williams continued. "Her studies have been instrumental in shaping policies that promote justice and equality on a global scale. She has presented her findings at the United Nations and advised governments on matters of peace and reconciliation." Murmurs rippled through the courtroom as spectators exchanged glances. Judge Thompson leaned back in his chair, visibly grappling with the new perspective being offered. Sarah remained composed, her silence speaking volumes as her achievements were brought to light. Finally, Lucy Andrews rose to deliver her closing argument. "Your Honor," she began, "this case is about more than a traffic violation. It is about how we perceive and judge others based on limited information. My client has dedicated her life to creating a better world. To reduce her to a single moment, to a single mistake, is to ignore the broader context of her contributions." She paused, allowing her words to sink in before continuing. "Miss Johnson is not seeking special treatment. She simply asks that this court consider the full picture before rendering judgment." Judge Thompson's expression softened as he regarded Sarah. For the first time, he seemed to see her not as a defendant, but as a multifaceted individual with a story worth understanding. The courtroom fell silent as the judge prepared to deliver his verdict. He removed his glasses, rubbing his temples as if grappling with the weight of the decision. "Miss Johnson," he began, "it is clear to me that there is more to this case than meets the eye. While the law must be applied fairly and consistently, it is equally important to ensure that justice takes into account the broader context." He paused, his tone reflective. "I cannot ignore the contributions you have made to society, nor can I discount the possibility that this charge was born from a misunderstanding. In light of these considerations, I hereby dismiss the charges against you." A collective sigh of relief swept through the courtroom. Sarah's composure remained intact, but there was a glimmer of gratitude in her eyes as she exchanged a brief smile with Lucy. As Sarah left the courtroom, reporters and onlookers swarmed her, eager for a statement. She stopped briefly, addressing the crowd with the same poise she had displayed throughout the trial. "This case was never about me," she said. "It was about challenging the way we view one another. Every person has a story, a set of experiences that shape who they are. It is my hope that this moment serves as a reminder to look beyond the surface and see the full humanity in each other." Her words resonated deeply, leaving an indelible mark on those who heard them. For Judge Thompson, it was a humbling experience that would shape the way he approached his role in the future. In the weeks that followed, Sarah's story became a catalyst for conversations about implicit bias and the importance of empathy in the justice system. Her work continued to inspire, reminding the world that true progress begins with understanding and valuing each individual's unique contributions. And so what began as a simple traffic violation transformed into a powerful lesson about humanity, justice, and the enduring impact of seeing beyond the surface.